Derecka, though, I'd like to turn to your the piece that you wrote most recently for The Guardian, Why Black Progressive Women Feel Torn About Kamala
Mhm.
Harris. You write in the piece, progressives will have to defend the California senator's personal identity while maneuvering against her political identity. Could you explain what you mean by that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, Kamala Harris, she graduated from Howard University and a prestigious HBCU in D.C. right down the road. As Amy said, she's a biracial woman with Jamaican and Indian heritage. We've seen her break so many barriers. And we know that with the ascension and attention that comes with women of color in office, even walking down the street, but particularly in a public spotlight, it unfortunately in this country has invited sexist and racist and xenophobic responses. And so we've already have seen some of that with the birther conspiracies that are being used against her right now, which is why last night she spoke to the exact hospital where she was born in Oakland. So that's like one end. The other end is that, women of color, particularly those who are progressive Black women, are also frustrated. They're frustrated by this narrative that the lack of indifference in America ended with Barack Obama and started up again with Donald Trump. Are frustrated because of her record as a prosecutor, her refusal to investigate or prosecute police officers, her fight to uphold wrongful convictions, her support of the death penalty as Attorney General. I mean, the list unfortunately goes on. So when she says last night, I know a predator when I see one, it's ironic because one of the wrongful convictions that she fought to uphold was based on the technicality of someone who is serving 70 years in prison who might be innocent. So it's just, unfortunate that you have to protect someone because of their identity and against this notion that their hands are going to be tied because they're a person of color or a Black or a woman or a child of immigrants. While at the same time, if you care about the masses of Black people, the masses of poor people, the masses of immigrants in this country, you know that you have to speak truth and be honest about their record and be critical of them in the public spotlight. They have to make Kamala Harris left enough to bring in progressives, but also make sure that she isn't pulling the party too far left. And it's an unfortunate tactic that works. So my former professor, Cornel West, says, I'm a part of the radical left. Kamala Harris is a moderate. And so this tactic from Pence is trying to, use this radical left idea to push the party further right. And it's working, frankly. It's why Republicans were able to speak longer than Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Is to affirm that, the Democrats can reach across the aisle. It affirms that the party is not too moderate. It affirms Joe Biden saying that he believes that police should have more money as people are hitting the streets to demand that departments all over are defunded. So this is a tactic that's working, and there's no way that Kamala Harris is a part of the radical left. If anyone's a part of the radical left, it's probably Shirley Chisholm, who Kamala Harris invoked last night, who was one of the first people that was endorsed by the Black Panther Party, right? So the first time the Black Panther Party engages with electoral politics is to endorse Shirley Chisholm, And so it's ironic that we are excited about the women who paved the way, but we don't actually talk about the record, or more people, rather, should be talking about their actual records, their beliefs, their policies. In the middle of a movement against police violence, you have Joe Biden coming out and saying that he believes that police should receive more funding, and it's touting community policing, a failed, vague reform that we know at this point does not work. In the middle of a pandemic where Black and brown people, poor people are dying at disproportionate rates, you have, Joe Biden, doubling down on his refusal to support universal health care. And so all of the reasons why people are hitting the streets, all the reasons why people are suffering, we are seeing a doubling down. We hear, Vice President Joe Biden, rather, decide to continue to not cancel like all student debt. So all of these policies that people have been demanding to push the party further to the left, to say that we actually should give a care about the people who are suffering, we see a doubling down on the moderate, positions of the party. And it's just unfortunate.